Hi, everyone. Welcome to Soul Work Wednesday. Welcome back to the space. The last time we were here, we were talking about compassion, how to hold space for ourselves, how to have compassion for ourselves. And I touched a little bit on the fact that we are moving, Ayurvedically speaking, from Kapha season into Pitta. And so I want to pick that up a little bit because I know here for sure in Texas, we are most definitely moving into this season of fire and water. We are definitely moving quickly into Pitta season. And there's so much beauty about this season because it is like a moment of like everything sort of being fired up and almost exaggerated and brought to the forefront. And that's really what it feels like right now. It feels like things are being like brought forward. So just feeling into, maybe how that's showing up for you. And really how the heat is showing up for you. Some people love this time of year. This is like their favorite time of year. They love the warmth and the heat of summer. I personally don't like it. It's not my favorite season. I there's there are things about it that I love, but in general, like I don't like to be hot. I've never liked to be hot. I would prefer to be cold. And so it's an interesting conversation. Those of you who love this season are like, no way, what are you talking about? Um, I would much rather be hot than cold. So just feeling into your body and noticing how sort of this season takes, hold of you in some way. If you are ignited energetically, there is definitely like an ignite, a flare up, and that can be amazing if your pitta is in balance, right? If your pitta is not in balance, if we are moving into the season and we already have too much of this fire element, water element in our bodies, then we're gonna feel frustrated, we're gonna feel angry, we're gonna feel like aggravated, we're going to feel hot, we're going to feel bothered. So you want to notice again how the imbalance is already present in your body, and then what you need to do to shift it. And for some of you it feels amazing because you're burning off the kapha, you're burning off the like that heavy dense energy, and it's like woo, everything gets fired up and sort of like exhilarating and exciting. And so yeah, it's just something to notice. I have found in my life, once I discovered the lens of Ayurveda, there was such a sweetness about being able to sort of explain things through the lens because of the elements and the way they have taken form, because everything in nature that is outside of us is also inside of us. It is us. And so we want to look at how these elements have shown up and taken form in our body, and then how is it patterning our experience, how is it imprinting us, how are we showing up through that lens. And it can also be really fascinating and evocative because it can take you into this space of, oh well, like what's out of balance, what's not working, what is extreme. So as we start to burn off the density of the kapha season and we move into pitta season, we move into this space of water and fire. You're really giving yourself the space to be like, okay, what does need to be ignited in my life, what does need to be fired up, where do I need to give a little push. And then at the same time, because that anger, frustration, and that feeling bothered is real in this season, also how can we back off, and how can we sort of just like be in the heat. And yeah, for some of us this pitta can be super triggering. Okay, so I just want you to stay conscious of how it's affecting you. And again, we go back to this lens of compassion. How can you be compassionate to your human experience, to your life experience, to the way life has unraveled up into this moment, and then how you are showing up in it. So I want to give you a cooling breath as a tool. And it's called Sitali breath. And you're going to make kind of a funny face. And some of you will not be able to do it because not everybody can curl their tongue. But if you can't curl your tongue, you're just going to curl it as much as you can. And it's almost like you're like sucking the breath through a straw. So if you can curl your tongue, you're like folding it into each other on either side. And if you can't do that, don't worry about it. You're just going to make this lip almost like you're going to like a fish, okay? So you're inhaling and then you're exhaling and you're just letting the mouth close. And you're inhaling and exhaling. So you notice that there's like a rustling at the back of my throat. That's that exhale of that ujjayi breath. My mouth isn't open for this one. Okay, it's that cool in. And I don't know if you can notice this already as you start doing this, is you can feel the coolness of the air coming into your body. And this is a cooling breath. So we want to find ways to cool ourselves off, to settle ourselves down, to allow the nervous system to retreat and settle in and reform and integrate. So let's take a few moments here. So feel your sitting bones root. And if you're sitting on something, maybe come to the edge so that your feet are on the ground. And if you're on the ground, then that's fine. You're not going to be in this exact seat. Maybe rock a little bit from side to side. And if you're sitting on something, you press your hands down into your thighs so that you can root and ground yourself, feeling the connection to whatever it is you're sitting on. And let the shoulders come away from your ears. Move the sides of your neck back into space so that your throat, your heart, and your pelvis are stacked. And then just start to notice the pulsation of your breath, that rise and the fall, the inhale and the exhale. And we notice the top of the inhale and the bottom of the exhale. And in those small little moments of pause between the two, can we settle? Can we soften in? And then when you're ready, your eyes can close if you want to, or you can keep your eyes open and you're going to purse your lips and maybe roll your tongue if you can. And you're going to inhale through the lips and through the tongue. And you're going to exhale, let go of the shape. And inhale again. And exhale. Go at your rate. If your inhale or your exhale are longer than I'm guiding, just stay with your own breath, inhaling. Do 3 more. Just allowing the breath to normalize. And notice if you feel any shifts in your body. So if you're getting overheated, if you're getting overwhelmed, if you're getting angry, if you're getting frustrated, if the heat is sort of taking charge in some way. How do we cool down? How do we create sort of the space of internal air conditioning? And so this breath is one of those tools, one of those ways to retreat, to settle, to soften, and to cool down. And hopefully in this space, we integrate and we become a little bit more even. And in this moment, we get to just be and hold the space for this knowing of like, in this very moment, you are okay. And breathing into that. So we hold space for our experience and we hold space with compassion for whatever is maybe running its course, whatever's moving through your life, whatever is showing up. And as you settle into the softening, can you simply be in the space of your own awareness? When you settle into the space, can you invite yourself to listen deeply to your own wisdom, to this resource you hold? The more we're willing to settle into this space, really the more we can access it. And so I really encourage you to offer yourself these little moments of pause, these moments of retreat and refuge, just here in your own presence and in your own body and in this space of subtle awareness, so that you can empower and take hold of your experience. Because when we settle here, we are out of that fight or flight. We are out of that reaction mode. We are most likely out of a triggered mode, and we are settled in to the depth of our being. And this is really such a valuable space to have access to. And the more we practice hanging out here, the better off we are when we're not here. And I'm not saying that we're always going to be able to find the space, but the fact that we even know it's here is resource enough sometimes. Draw your hands into prayer in front of your heart, honoring this time you take for yourself, honoring the space you hold. Thank you for joining me here. I do appreciate the company and the comments, and I hope you have a beautiful week. Namaste. I'll see you all soon. Bye.